Good day, everybody. It's the 23rd of October, 2023, and well, it's Monday. It's cold. It wasn't cold this morning. I was thinking, oh, it's going to be a better day to do a video. It's not so cold today, but I don't know. It seemed to have gotten cold here this afternoon. And of course, it's been raining a lot here in Belarus, at least around Minsk area, for past, I don't know, 24 hours or so. Look at this, a sobak. It's a dog. Looks like a chow. Anyway, so I ducked back in behind or in between a bunch of apartment buildings because on the outside out there on the main street it's just a little bit too windy, and of course the rain is about the same here. It's not really raining too bad. I don't have a waterproof camera, so if it was raining I'd be inside somewhere. It actually is raining a little bit, a couple drops every here and there. But anyway, it looks like things are getting closer to like a war in the Middle East. And of course there's already a war south of here in Ukraine. But I don't know, it looks like they're trying to make that war a lot bigger. Excuse me. Because they're trying to pump a lot more money into it. I think it was first, I don't know what amount, but anyway, it's going up a little bit at a time. Now it's, I think, $61.4 billion Joe Biden's trying to get to Ukraine. But as you saw, I guess it's called the Freedom Caucus, with Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene and some of the other people, they blocked that. I guess part of that was this deal with McCarthy. And it looks like, I don't know, are they going to be able to block it this time? I don't know, because Biden is putting it in for some sort of a emergency fund, but I'll get to that anyway. So some of the other news that's going on, the foreign minister of Estonia, my voice, excuse me, it's a man, even though the name sounds kind of strange. It's Margus Tashnika or whatever. And he's saying that this war in Ukraine is very cheap because they're not using westernized type soldiers, they're using the Ukrainians. So that's a good deal, spilling Ukrainian blood instead of all the West and then, trying to kill Russians. I wonder if the Ukrainian people are going to start to realize that they're being used as useful idiots by the West, to spill their blood, and instead of the West fighting the war, they're getting the Ukrainians to do it for them. And then, of course, if they would win the war, as you know, the West would walk away from Ukraine and say, basically, here's the little finger, take the little finger, flip the little finger at them and tell them to sit on it or something like that. So, but it's not, just the Western governments, it's the Ukrainian government as well that's using their own people as, I guess you'd call it cannon fodder, or useful idiots, not useless idiots. And I don't know if you've seen some reports, but there are American citizens, a few of them in Gaza, and they're not letting them leave. And it's a very strange thing what's going on with the aid. You hear about convoys or something, or trucks getting in, and then you hear about that they're not getting in. Netanyahu said, no, we're not going to let them in. Well, let's see what's going on with that. I don't know. And this illusion that the United States is trying to bring peace there. But I don't think so. I think they're trying to get a coalition. I think in reality they're trying to get some kind of a coalition, or at least find some way where the U.S. greatly benefits from all of this. So, and they're trying to say Russia benefits, but Russia said, hey, basically, stick the little finger, again, we're not benefiting from this at all. But yeah, the Danish prime minister, she was putting flowers on the Israeli embassy or somewhere by the Israeli embassy, and some reporters was asking her if she would do the same thing for the Palestinians. And she said no, because Hamas are terrorists, thinking that all Palestinians, I guess, are Hamas, I don't know. They're terrorists, and Israel is a democratic state. So, I don't know, try to figure that one out yourself. Israel has the right to defend itself. You know, and I guess Palestinians don't. They're Untermenschen. I don't know. All Palestinians, not just Hamas. So, in other words, she's not going to put any flowers or anything to do with any of their deaths or whatever. And this bombing at that Christian church, the United States has come out and said that they don't think an investigation is appropriate. You know, it's just about like the Nord Stream 1 and 2 explosions. Oh, it's not needed or whatever. Russia did it or whatever. I don't know. But of course, I don't know. There was an investigation, and of course, it's all kept secret. It makes you wonder why. You know why it's kept secret. And they knew who did it. And Gavin Newsom, he's going to Israel too. Everybody wants to go to Israel now. It's just like when the new thing was Ukraine. Everybody wanted to go see Zelensky, you know, and bow down to the great leader of Zelensky. Let me see who's people walking around here. Last time, as you know, the last video I made, the police came for me, so I don't I don't want to be spending the time having to talk to them and going through all the paperwork again. That's happened twice already. So, you know, people are not used to seeing somebody with a camera. I guess if I had a cell phone, it would be fine. But, you know, I didn't want to use a cell phone. I actually wanted to get a camera because I think that looks kind of stupid, you going around with a cell phone. But now it's not that way. Now it's normal to go around filming with a cell phone, but not with a camera. And at the same time, you know, as Gavin Newsom going there, there's Biden coming out and saying it's like World War II. You know, it's on the scale of World War II. This thing going on, and of course it could be the catalyst for that, obviously, but it's not at the level of World War II. That's certainly not the case. He was saying, I guess, that COVID was at the level of World War II. You know, Biden, you know, trying to make things up, probably because he's running for election. He wants to look like a big shot. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know. And you also heard, I don't know, I heard, but I'm sure it's out in the regular news as well, but the United States is sending tens of thousands of, say, these artillery shells, for one thing, these 155 millimeter artillery shells. But isn't that strange? Because they didn't have any when Ukraine wanted them. Instead, you say, well, we have to send them cluster bombs because we don't have any artillery shells. But now all of a sudden they came up with tens of thousands of artillery shells. And as you know, the United States, they've got artillery shells, but I don't know, is this there for their strategic defenses, this amount? Like a taboo amount not to send? I don't know. But instead they sent ATACMS. And guess what? These ATACMS, they carry cluster munitions. You know, but that was supposed to be a big secret. You know, and I told you before that U.S. has a lot of bombs, but they're just playing, I don't know, what do you got? Playing possum or something like that. They're running out of ammo. And it's also being whispered around in Russian news that this ammunition, this maybe not from the ATACMS, maybe from the ATACMS, but anyway, these cluster munitions, they're killing a lot of Russians. And a lot of people aren't going to like me saying that, those that are on the side of Russia. But, you know, the truth has to be told. They are killing a lot of Russians. It's doing a lot of damage. And, of course, it's illegal. But, you know, the new rules-based order, the United States can do things that are illegal. And if there's even a suspicion that Russia might even be thinking about doing something illegal, of course, that's pretty bad there, you know. The rules of warfare. Yeah, if there are any. Rules-based order. You know, the masters of the universe can cheat anytime they want to, I think. That's about what it's all about. But probably the reason why he's doing this, Biden cannot afford another loss. You know, he lost in Afghanistan. He's losing in Ukraine anyway. And he's still losing, but I guess he's going to try to keep this alive to, you know, killing a lot of Russians to do something, to make it look like he's doing something great. I don't know. because the election is coming up. And so they're saying it's a smart investment. You know, a smart investment. That's what they're all saying. $105 billion is what this is about to be. 105 billions, and of course what was 14 billion was supposed to go to Israel, that will pay dividends for the future generations, you know, maybe for his future generation, you know, for old Biden's family, you know, because they're invested business-wise, Burisma and Rosemont Seneca and who knows what other companies they got invested in there. And then there's BlackRock and Cargill. Yeah, that's where all that money is going to be. That's investment. But you know, the problem is if they lose, if the West loses, then all that money that they've invested already, and they're not, you know, they're talking about the money, they're not talking about lives, but all that money they've invested is for nothing because they're not going to get that land. Do you think Russia's going to say, oh, well, you paid the government of Ukraine, Zelensky, for this land, so yeah, I guess it's yours? They're going to say, you know, the little finger comes out again, I guess. Wow. And the United States, they used to say, we're fighting for freedom, for the women or something. What was it say? Protect the women in Afghanistan and freedom and democracy. And now they're saying it's a great investment. At least they're admitting it, you know. Turkey has come out and said that bombing of that Christian hospital, you know, Israel saying it was Hamas. Turkey has said that that's fake. It's all fake news. I guess they did their own investigation into that, or at least they looked at some of the evidence. Can't do much in investigation. And Ursula von der Leyen saying that the EU is for Israel. Apparently there's, I guess, where was it? 842 European Union staff members that signed a petition stating that they don't agree with Ursula von der Leyen. Her pronouncement of saying that the EU has a pro-Israel bias, I guess. And apparently they say it causes the EU to lose credibility because it contradicts 180 degrees, or for Baerbock, 360 degrees, from what they said about this whole conflict in Ukraine. So just a big difference there. You know, I guess democracy and occupation and who knows all this kind of stuff, I don't know. And Biden is out there saying that we need a new world order because the post-world order has run out of steam, he said. And of course he's saying that the United States has to lead this new world order. Oh, as if it doesn't already lead this other order. But, you know, it's mostly the financial system. As you know, they control the whole world's finances, and when you control the money, you know, you control a lot. But the BRICS nations rising up, looks like that might be coming to an end. And I guess they're trying to figure out a way to stop it now. You know, and war is one way, of course. Yeah. In Latvia, the great old country of Latvia, I was there, of course, I said last year, all these things all over about anti-Putin, and they even put women's underwear and stuck it on they glued it onto some board or something, and then they put some red paint on there and said that, trying to basically say that the Russians were raping Ukrainian women, or, you know, just probably like they're saying now. And there was something on Piers Morgan. Who was this guy? Hamad Habib. And I guess he's a YouTube blogger. He's got like over 1 million followers. And he was on Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan was saying that that the Palestinians are raping the Israeli women. And the guy said, do you have proof? Do you have proof? Of course, Piers Morgan doesn't have any proof for anything. You know, just whatever CNN and MSNBC and BBC and all these fake news outlets are already putting out. So, jeez. And yes, I was going to say, in Latvia, they made, well, this one was on video, but they've done this several times, I guess, whenever, like a student, and this was, in this case, a kindergarten student, like 5 years old, she said some Russian words, so they made her do squats, 10 squats for each Russian word. So it's a form of punishment for speaking Russian. Isn't that incredible? But they're not Nazis. They're not Nazis. So don't worry about that. It's just like what Ukraine was doing. They were doing the same thing, I guess. Not really so much with the language, but they're doing, like I said, in all the books, they're teaching the Russians are the ones responsible for all their problems. Okay, and also now Israel bombed a town called Deir al-Balah, which is in the south of Gaza. That's where they're telling all the Israelis to move to. They're telling them to move from the north to the south, just like when they've already been telling them to go somewhere, and then they bomb the place. And here they bomb the south now again. Again, they're doing it, telling them where to go and then bombing the place. It's like the U.S. was doing all the time in Baghdad. Man. And I guess they said there's a lot of injured. It didn't list anybody as being killed, any Palestinians from being killed, but just a lot of injured. And now they say that the number of displaced Gazans is 1.5 million people. 1.5 million. And I think the Israelis, they say displaced is 200,000, which is, of course, a drop in the bucket compared to 1.5 million. In a 24-hour period this past day, as of this morning, Israel has hit, I wrote it, didn't I write it down? Well, it was like 320 targets. But also in the past 24 hours, not only that, 320 targets, and I think that might have been just talking about Gaza, but also in the last 24 hours, Israel has attacked 3 countries in 24 hours. Syria, they bombed, of course, the airports. They're doing that almost regularly now, I guess. And Lebanon, they bombed Lebanon. And Palestine, of course, and Egypt, because they had that supposedly a mistake or something like that, and some soldier fired at, I don't know, it was a guard tower. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, they're just going to get away with it. It was one incident so far, only in Egypt, at least by the time I stopped looking at the news this morning. I don't know. But all these countries, they're united. All of these Arabic countries are united. And if they say if Israel continues what they're doing to Gaza, a lot of them saying they're going to be forced to act. We'll see. We'll see. I doubt it. I doubt it very much. I don't know. But this whole thing could blow up. If you get some major countries involved, it could blow up. A lot of them can get involved there. And of course, what is it? What are they sending? Yeah, they're sending Patriot. They're sending Patriot air defense systems to Israel. And it's strange because they didn't have any more to give to Ukraine, and now they found plenty of them to give to Israel. The United States says they're not going to get involved in this, or they're just sending it for a backup for Israel. They're sending all the 2 carrier groups and mega supplies, all these plane loads of all sorts of supplies, weapons, ammunition, as well as food, and they're really, really gearing up Israel for some kind of hot activity. And not only just Israel, but the United States as well. They now needed a second air base. They have one that they're using in, was it in Crete? Anyway, they're opening up another inactivated air base, because the one in Crete was not big enough. So they, for all of the activity, all the traffic they're having, so they're opening up another one. Incredible, huh? So it's like, well, something big is gonna happen. And somebody sent me something, and they showed that I think was on the Gerald Ford. They gave the soldiers there steak and lobster dinner, and apparently they don't give steak and lobster dinners unless either they're trying to cheer up the soldiers, or they're going to have bad news for them, or whatever. So they do that beforehand, and it looks like that's what they did. So that's going to be something if we're going to find out that there's some big surprise coming. A lot of people were thinking that Israel was going to attack last night, and I don't know, who knows what's going to happen here, but well, I don't know. It could get very bad unless somebody comes to the rescue. And of course, the United States, they turned down that ceasefire. It was a proposal by Russia in the United Nations Security Council. all countries agreed on yes, there should be a ceasefire, except for the United States. They vetoed it. So that's very strange, isn't it? They talk about peace, but yet they don't want to do anything to achieve peace. They're doing exactly the opposite. Very interesting, very interesting. But anyhow, that's about all I have for you right now today. Like I said, I haven't looked at some news for quite a few hours because I've had classes, and my voice is going. So I should end then. Well, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you for the next one, whenever that will be. Bye-bye.